Yo guys, welcome to my channel, You OK Body Fitness. Please subscribe and like. So today I'm doing legs and I'm visiting a new gym that has some very cool machines. I'm working out with my buddy here and we tried a lot of different machines, but the workout structure and principles stay the same. I always start my leg workout with hamstring. So you see me using the seated leg curl machine, which I've been using for years now as my first move. It just feels easier and has a pad to support your lower back. Just easy to use and just get some blood pumping before starting the more serious leg work. So in this move, a lot of people like to focus on a shortened position, which in this case is at the bottom of the movement. You see, when you bring the pad all the way down, this is when your muscle is at its shortest. The problem is that this is not the most conductive position for muscle gains. You're better off focusing on the eccentric and on a lengthened position. So a lot of people like to bring the pad all the way down and focus on the contraction, squeeze as much as possible. But you're still working in a shortened position there. Just keep this in mind and keep the emphasis always on a lengthened position. One problem is that most machines have the wrong strength curve. It's actually the opposite of what you want. So they tend to get harder as you get closer to the shortened position and easier in the eccentric. A lot of them actually feel completely unloaded near the eccentric. So this is the main issue. Unless you have a prime machine, which you're very lucky if you have one and you should always be using it above any other machine, except maybe Atlantis. But anyways, going back to the main thing is that you have this hurdle to overcome, but you can still try to put the emphasis on a lengthen. And you see me here as I'm getting closer to failure. I'm starting to do lengthened partials, aka baby reps. And I've been doing this on most of my sets. You'll see I'm always trying to push a bunch of partials there. So next we did some adductor, abductor, and you see this gym has really special machines where you can have your legs straight. This actually feels very good. It honestly felt really nice. The only thing, I wish it could go a bit wider, but as far as the feeling of the movement goes, I'm really impressed with these machines. So I decided to do these moves early in the workout. Usually I put them at the end, but again guys, we know what happens when you just defer these moves towards the end of the workout. I never have the energy to actually finish them properly or give them the proper attention. So if you really want to focus on hammering them down, then definitely put them early on in the workout before any leg press or squatting movement. Again, good warm-up and good pre-exhaustion. A lot of time I would also do the leg extensions early on. In this case, we didn't do it right away because we wanted to move to the leg pressing. But what I'm trying to do in the workout is always pre-exhaust. I want to get to the leg press where I'm not fatigued, my performance is not that affected, but I am pre-exhausted, especially if I do the leg extension before. And what this allows me to do is to lower the weight on the leg press and not go so heavy. So this is the Atlantis leg press, and this specific model is my favorite leg press machine of all times, guys. It just feels amazing and it puts the emphasis on a lengthened position. You see me going all the way down here. The machine is actually so safe that you can fail at the bottom, no problem. It is designed in such a smart way as opposed to the usual, let's say, hammer strength leg press, the vertical one, where you have to set in the pins, right? So you have to make sure you're at a certain height to be able to close down a machine. Or if it fails, you'll be in a very uncomfortable position. But this one, you can actually exit the machine if it fails. And you see me lowering the weight almost to a point just before it touches, just before the machine locks out. Surprisingly, a lot of people don't like this machine. They tell me that it's too easy, that it feels too light, that they have to load it with too much weight to feel anything. Guys, let me tell you, you're doing it wrong if you have to overload this machine. The problem is when people do it, their foot stance doesn't allow for full depth. So make sure to set up properly with your foot position. Make sure you are narrow enough to hit the quads, but a bit out open with your toes, like wide open a bit with your toes. You still want to be narrow and down, but you want to be able to spread out your knees out of the way so you're able to reach lower depth. This move is exactly how it's supposed to feel. It's harder near the bottom. So don't go emphasizing the top portion. This is what most people do wrong with this leg press. Again, guys, don't focus on locking out. Focus on getting full stretch and reaching the bottom of each machine. Now, this might be one of the very few machines I like from Hammer Strength. Really, I think it's the only one. It's literally the only Hammer Strength machine that I like. And the reason why, if you see the pad, it's positioned almost behind my knees. This is much deeper than most leg extension machines. Also, the free weights actually makes the movement more difficult near the lengthened position, which is the bottom of the move in this case. So really amazing feeling with this machine, and my quads were on fire here. And again, of course, I have to finish up with some baby reps. Okay guys, last move, and by far my favorite leg exercise of all time. Also the safest one to do. This is the Atlantis Pendulum Squat. This is a fully decked out one. You see the adjustable pad at the bottom. You can actually adjust it. I put it all the way down to make it more quads dominant. You pretty much want to replicate wearing Olympic lifting shoes where your heels is elevated. So same principle, I'm going all the way down and I'm focusing on the eccentric. I'm trying to slow it down on the eccentric phase. So I'm trying to go as slow as I can. It's very difficult to keep it slower in this. And I'm not resting at all at the top. I'm trying to pause at the bottom, brief pause before going back up. But there's no pause at the top. If I pause at the top, I'm counting it as rest time. I will have to pull out my notebook and write down I rested. So again guys, it's important to refrain from resting at the top. You're not contributing to hypertrophy. And this is one movement where I see it butchered all the time. Guys will go very wide on this movement and their feet will be way up on a platform. You see, you need to keep your feet lower to hit the quads properly. It's not just a matter of placing them anywhere. The higher up you go on this platform, the more you're hitting glutes. So keep this in mind and keep the movement quads dominant. And you see the way I structured my workout, it allows me to use relatively light weight on this movement while still stimulating my muscle. Because after the leg extensions, after the hamstring work, after the leg press, this actually feels heavy. And that's our goal, guys. Our goal is to stimulate the muscle while generating hypertrophy. So we're not trying to ego lift. And we're not trying to go as heavy as possible, just for the sake of it. It's also amazing for your joints health and longevity. I haven't had any joint pain since training that way. And you see me here doing more lengthened partials. And this here, it's a rest pause technique I'm using. So I rested at the top and I'm counting 3 to 4 seconds. This is after I've hit the number of reps that I had in mind. So I've already hit, let's say, between 10 to 12 reps. I can rest at the top for 3 to 4 seconds as a rest pause set, and I extended my set. So I did a few extra reps at the end that I wouldn't have gotten if I didn't rest. Back to my point, if you structure your workout in a certain way, where you hit your, let's say, most stress-inducing movements near the end, and you pre-exhaust properly, you will be able to hit your muscle with a lot of precision without involving your other muscles like that you don't want to be involved, like your lower back and your joints. So this is actually very sparing for your joints. It allowed me to work out continuously for years without any injuries or any setbacks at all. I would highly recommend you guys try a similar structure for your workout, and especially if you have access to machines like this one at this gym. I know obviously not everyone has them, but you can try similar things. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this workout, and see you on the next one. Please like and subscribe.